Another guy that we appreciate. Got a lot of people that we appreciate. Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Hi, Greg.
What's up?
You doing good?
Yeah, I'm going to try to follow that Capel highlight up. That's going to be a lot.
Well, let's see if we can do it. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Crootin. This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, you know what's throwing me off is the weather because, like, it's unseasonably warm right now. I mean, I shouldn't say that for Texas, right? It's always like...
It is hot, though.
But it is, even for, right, I'm not crazy, right? For October 7th,
No, it's supposed to be in the 90s this weekend.
that's crazy. And so I got to be honest, it's kind of harshing my Chicken Express buzz cuz like the perfect temperature to have Chicken Express is at all temperatures. But if you were to pinpoint it, it's when it's like 60 degrees.
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving weather is like the perfect.
Texas Thanksgiving weather.
Yeah,
to be clear.
Texas Thanksgiving weather. I have a Chicken Express hack that I've discovered.
Oh, see, this is why you tune in. We should be charging for this, like content.
You know I'm a big gravy guy. As a matter of fact, last time we talked about it, after we came out of the studio, I said, if you're not getting gravy on your pinky finger on the side of it when you're dipping the Chicken Express tenders, then you're not doing it right.
I think fact check true.
I tossed them in buffalo sauce.
You toss the chicken the
Oh, yeah.
And the Chicken Express tender with buffalo sauce.
That might actually...
Chef's kiss.
You know
I'm
who-
telling you, like, they're like,
buddy.
You know who would love that more than anyone?
Who's that?
Mallory Hartley. That girl is a fiend for buffalo sauce.
Let me tell you something.
it hits, man, like, because they don't
You're playing.
They're not overbreaded. Like, the chicken tastes good.
You're playing 7D chess out here with Chicken Express.
Yeah, I put this right up with the putting butter on the cinnamon rolls tip.
God almighty.
Two things you have to live your life by.
God, I admire you. It's Greg Powers, our director of recruiting for This Week in Recruiting. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going to Austin, to Westlake High School to talk about their senior tight end, Brody Wilhelm, who is the latest Dave Campbell's Texas Football 3-star prospect. Picked up an offer this week from Baylor, along with offers from places like Texas State, Old Dominion, and Navy. 6'5", 220, and can run like the wind. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he's very productive. 39 receptions for 663 yards and 7 touchdowns a year ago. Wasted little time coming out of the gate swinging this year. Scored 3 touchdowns in that first game against Prosper. What I think has pushed his game to the next level, too, is that he's added some good weight to his frame. It's not really fair to call him a tight end, and it's not really fair to call him a wide receiver. He's a big flex option who presents mismatch problems with linebackers who try to match up with him one-on-one, and his size is advantageous when he's matched up against defensive backs. So you can see what Baylor likes in him. You can see why these schools are recruiting him, and it'll be interested to see what he does at the end of the day.
Well, like, for example, they just had, on watching his tape here, they just had him split out wide against North Shore, right? Like, so he's matched up with, like, a corner in North Shore, and he's beating him to the sticks and stuff like that. Like he can, I think you're right. He is that kind of, that hybrid where it's probably not telling the whole story if you just if you pigeonhole him as just a tight end or just a receiver.
Fair assessment. And I think the tape that we're looking at now is his junior tape, and he's about 205 on that. He's pushed up to about 215, 225. I would say somewhere in that range. It's hard to say exactly by looking at him on tape, but he's bigger.
He's a playmaker and is the beneficiary of a good quarterback there in Reese Wise as well there at Westlake. Brody Wilhelm, our latest Dave Campbell's Texas Football 3-star prospect on texasfootball.com/recruiting. Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, going to Aubrey to talk about their senior wide receiver, Tyler Brown, who this week pulled the trigger to North Texas.
Good commitment for North Texas, who's been pretty hot. They've been one of the hotter schools on the recruiting trail, I think I would say since towards the end of summer up until, through the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, they've had spaces to fill, and they've been filling them with good quality talent. In addition to Tyler Brown, they also received a commitment from 3-star Longview linebacker Brendan Reese this week. But as we're talking just specifically about our commit of the week, who is Aubrey Brown, he is an exciting slot wide receiver who packs a whole lot of punch in his 5'9" frame. He's a guy who can really make defenders miss in open space, and his bona fide / verified track speed, which helped him earn a gold medal at state, shines through on tape. I also had a chance to watch another North Texas commit this week playing for Mansfield, Jacoby Hayes. That dude was a baller. I really like what North Texas is doing in this class. They're getting guys who might be somewhat off of the radar or overlooked by the big P4 schools, but I feel like they have skill sets to be able to secure offers from those schools. So I think this is a pretty good class for UNT, and it's starting to come together and look pretty talented on paper.
Well, and you mentioned
Call.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
When you said you mentioned, it was perfect.
We mentioned that he's just kind of a well-rounded athlete. I mean, this is a guy who's like a track star too. I mean, he's a guy who can get out and fly. And so this is something that, that type of speed, they're going to find a way to get him involved in the offense in a hurry, just because he's instantly going to be one of the fastest guys on campus.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that speed is going to create a huge mismatch problem, especially in the slot, because at 5'9", it's most likely that he plays in a slot role at the next level. If he gets on a linebacker, forget about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's just going to use his wheels to outpace a linebacker. So it's a guy that you really want to put 5 defensive backs on the field to combat with, which – when you're talking about that, you're starting to talk about technicalities and how to make your offense successful. Once you throw that extra defensive back out there for an assignment, then pound the rock.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it just gives you more options. So I like what Tyler Brown's bringing to the table for UNT.
Tyler Brown, big get there for the North Texas Mean Green, which, again,
Call.
Thank you. Let's round it all out with our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, let's go to Beckville. Let's about their junior running back, Jordan Prince. Now, Beckville is no stranger to big-time playmakers. Jacoby Williams, of course, most notably. But they got another one in Jordan Prince, and he's been busy lately.
Yeah, for sure. He's had 2 tremendous weeks. He set the school record for rushing touchdowns 2 weeks ago with 6. He said that's not good enough. Let's run it back. I'm going to score 7 touchdowns this week. So back-to-back weeks, he set the school's rushing touchdown benchmark, which is impressive in and of itself. He's a guy that's got half a dozen scholarship offers already. Most of the schools are in-state schools, but his most recent offer is from the SEC in Arkansas. But he happens to be the brother of Texas Tech and former Beckville standout Jacoby Williams, who we thought his absence was really going to set Beckville back until a Prince ascends, right?
More like Jordan King.
Yeah, he's Jordan King now. A Prince ascends at Beckville to lead that offense, and they haven't missed a beat. They're undefeated on the year, and a big reason to that is Prince, who actually he had 544 rushing yards over the last 2 games. Not a huge shocker that he is now over 1,000 yards for this season.
He has been an absolute monster for Beckville. There is Jordan Prince, the latest in a long line of great playmakers there at Beckville. Before we let you go, I understand you're going to be a little bit busy this Friday night.
Man, I'm busy every Friday night.
Okay, but you're going to be especially notably busy this Friday
What do you have cooking for me, man? It sounds like I'm about to get surprised with
I don't know.
something.
Let's ask our executive producer about this.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, live, 7:30 p.m., Friday night, starring me, Tepper, and Grev Powers.
Let's go.
Let's go, dude. I'm amped up.
I want to be clear. We love being on the set with Ish.
Nah, do we?
Okay. I love being on the set with Ish. You got
don't.
big shoes to fill. But excited to have you in the chair, partner.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We have a great slate of games for this week, and of course, it's just going to be fun talking ball with y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I do. I like to roll my sleeves up and talk ball, and y'all provide the perfect, comfortable setting to do that. And if you're not tuned in every week to Texas Football Tonight, What you doing?
What are you doing?
This is all true.
That's an honest question. That's not a rhetorical question.
No.
Like, text me what you're doing instead. He's Greg Powers. He is the fill-in co-host for this week on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. You can follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Thanks, Powers.
All right. Do it next week?
Do it Friday.
Let's do it Friday.
All right. Let's do it.
Fine. We'll just do like This Week in Recruiting, like mega size. We're not even going to cover the games. We're just going to do This Week in Recruiting.
Crootin Corner.
Crootin Corner.
The whole plane is built out of Crootin
Interactive
Corner.
interactive Crootin Corner this week, maybe.
Love it. Let's do it.